at the end of this podcast, you're going to know how to go improve your sales systems, funnel, and lead your team better.
Yeah, and lastly, if you're listening to this just audio, make sure you can watch the video because he shares his screen and walks us through some processes that you're going to want to see too. So don't just listen to audio. You're going to be a little lost.
So we're going to let the questions ride. I think I'm just going to ask some questions about my business and just get a bunch of free answers.
It's typically how this works.
We're going to dive into what it takes to actually delegate the right way, hidden costs of not having systems, and the hiring either locally all the way from the Philippines. All right, let's jump in. So Moose, let's break this down for a second. Hey, hold on. Before we get back to the episode, make sure you like and follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel. It means the world to us. And don't forget to turn on that little notification bell so that you get an alert every single time we drop a new episode. If you want to really go hardcore, go binge some of our past episodes, and please leave a 5-star review. All right, back to the episode. Welcome back to Real Estate Untucked podcast, where we are untucked in all of the ways. Today, we're talking systems scaling, stress-free growth with none other than the epic, amazing Moose Reed. Moose is a sales system and ops consultant. You have helped a bazillion businesses, over 3,000 businesses, get their stuff together, right? Hire virtual assistants, scale operations, generate over 300 million in yearly sales. So whether you're an agent, broker, business owner, all of that stuff, if you're tired of doing it yourself or trying to figure out how to make it work, this is for you. So we're gonna let the questions ride. I think I'm just gonna ask some questions about my business and just get a bunch of free answers.
It's typically how this works.
We're gonna dive into what it takes to actually delegate the right way, hidden costs of not having systems, and the hiring either locally all the way from the Philippines, virtual assistants, local assistants, all the smart stuff to do. And let's jump in and get some great insights. So Moose, welcome to the show. How are you?
What's up, man? Thanks so much for having me. Brad, thanks so much for having me. Always enjoy getting to spend some time with you guys, and excited to be here, man.
For sure.
You've been part of incredible organizations. You've built amazing sales teams. How do you do it? Like, you have done everything. What's the secret to Moose?
Gosh, what is the secret to Moose, man? Just waking up with a good attitude every single day. That's where it all starts, right? Waking up with a good attitude every single day, no matter what you're going through. No matter what's on fire, plowing through it, right? Just getting through the day to day, man. So, my background, obviously, you know me from Sphere Rocket, but before I was with Sphere Rocket, I built out 150 different sales orgs. I placed 3,000 sales reps within those sales orgs. I've scaled a bunch of sales teams. I've got corporate sales experience with companies like BlackRock and with Regis, right? But I've been blessed to find my way into this world of small business. And I've been the CRO at Sphere Rocket since November of 22. So specifically been helping teams grow their orgs with virtual assistants the last 3 years now. So I've been blessed, man.
Waking up in a good mood.
Impressive.
I got a call. How do you wake up in a good mood? Like, how do you do that? Like when you're feeling like shit, right? You got a hangnail, you got, who knows, ingrown hair on your lip, like, and you still wake up in a good mood. Like, come on, man. Come on.
Man, this is the real name of the game. Even when you wake up in a bad mood, you just put on the show. Nobody needs to know that you're not in a good mood. Once the show is going, you throw on the hat and everything is all right from there. I give the sales training to a lot of my sales reps. It's the alter ego training, right? I always say, no matter what you're going through in your life, nobody has to know. When you put on the alter ego, that's the only person who needs to sell is your alter ego, not Moose Reed or not Jonathan Reed, right? I sell from the name Moose Reed because that's my alter ego, right? Jonathan, the only person who calls Jonathan is my wife when she's pissed off at me, and the IRS when they're chasing me down.
Right. Wayne, what's your nickname?
It is Pitt Robbins. Pitt Robbins is he's the birth child of Tony Robbins and Pitbull, and that's who I am. So Pitt Robbins is who I call upon when we need to go kick some butt and take some names.
Sounds like you're old. Yeah, like an old.
I also named that crappy part of my brain Bob. So when, like, every once in a while, like, Bob starts talking shit, Bob's like, I don't think you can do it. Like, today's just not a good day. Like, and I'm like, thank you, Bob. Like, don't need you right now. I'll let you go sit in the corner for a minute. So if you don't like this personality, I got 3 more coming. So we're here we go.
Give it 10 minutes for the pills to kick in. We'll be good to go.
Absolutely. Was there anything else there? That was just the end. I think that's just the end of the podcast. All right, let's jump in. So Moose, let's break this down for a second. If you were walking into, like, when you look especially at agents, what systems are they missing the most? I guess even just break down, what does this system mean to you? When you say like systems and stuff, like, what does that even mean to you?
Yeah. So with a system, right? I think I can answer this as far as real estate agents as well, right? A lot of people who are in sales, whether you're selling real estate, whether you're selling mutual funds, whether you're selling Cutco knives door to door, or whether you're selling cars, everybody is trying to be the best salesperson in the world. They're like, everybody likes me. I have great persuasion, right? Therefore, because I'm so persuasive, naturally people want to buy from me. Until they don't. Eventually, they never say, well, I stopped being a good salesperson. They say things like the market went cold, right? Or it's not a buyer's or seller's market, or the price is too high, right? When in reality, it's because you don't have a good system behind you, right? A system is something that's duplicatable. I always tell my sales reps, and gosh, I have really good data on this, that I don't believe in salesmanship, right? Throughout my career of building sales teams, I placed people who I would perceive to be amazing salespeople. They're great at persuasion. They're good looking. They dress the part, etc. Right? They get onto an offer and they shit the bed.
Yeah.
Right? And I've placed very mediocre salespeople, or they seem to be very mediocre, into an offer and they end up excelling. I'll give you the example at Sphere Rocket. There's a guy, Patrick, who's my top producer. When I interviewed Patrick, I was like, no way am I going to hire this guy. Like, he's awkward. He makes our energy on this call look like we're asleep, and all of us have pretty damn high energy. You know what I mean? He talks a ton, but because he talks a ton, he has really high output, right? So all of my salespeople convert within 5 points of each other. So if that's true, then I can build a system around outputs. And it makes the best salesperson the one with the best outputs. Nobody outworks Patrick, which is why he does 40 units a month. Does that make sense? So a system is a duplicatable process that you can replicate from rep to rep. It's not dependent on talent.
So if I'm hearing this correctly, hold on. Yeah. If I'm hearing this correctly, you're saying that good salespeople will not have ebb and flows of the market. They will have systems that they can ramp up or ramp back to then have higher output in slower times and maybe less output in faster times because it's finding them. Is that what I'm hearing?
That is exactly what I'm hearing, Brad. Exactly what I'm saying.
No, that's great. I just wanted to rephrase that. I mean, not rephrase it, to reiterate that, because you're right. I mean, talk to a real estate agent that's, the market sucks. Like, how are you saying the market sucked in 2022? Like, the market didn't suck in 2022. So anyway, I like that you said that because it's true. Systems run everything.
We have a client, guys. I like to use this as an example, right? And it's not to boost Sphere Rocket, because Sphere Rocket is not the solution for this guy. He happens to be a consumer of Sphere Rocket. Okay. But he's a real estate agent. He is on a 50-50 split with his brokerage, which I know a lot of brokerages are trying to recruit with a higher split, right? He net $1 million in commissions this last year. He net $1 million in commissions, but it's because his systems are so good. And he's not what I would perceive as the best salesperson. He's a good looking guy. He's not the best. He's not, Tom Cruise. He's not Brad Pitt, right? But man, our mentor, I think it's fair to say, right? Dustin Runyon. This guy goes to work for Dustin, and he hits 22-minute conversations every single day. A lot of real estate agents are like, how many dials should I hit? I don't know. Have 22-minute conversations. If that takes 500 dials, awesome. If it takes 20 dials, awesome. You hit your metric. The driving metric is 22-minute conversations per day. Does that make sense?
So here's my question. We say systems a lot. Like, say if you're auditing a real estate agent or whatever it is, they're going, hey, these are the 3-5 systems you need to build right off the bat. Like, what would those actually be?
Yeah, good question. So there's a couple, right? The first one that I would say, I have no other way to phrase it. I've never phrased it this way before, but I'll say is a lifestyle system.
Interesting. Okay. What do you mean?
Right? Life gets busy for all of us. It gets busy for all of us, whether you're in accounting, whether you're in sales, whether you're in marketing, whether you're in bookkeeping, whether you're a librarian. Life gets busy for all of us. And if our lifestyle starts to overtake our workflow, we will be less successful in work because life comes first. Is that fair?
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
That's why when clients come to Sphere Rocket, 99% of the time, I recommend they hire an executive assistant to build out a lifestyle system for them, right? So what things is a lifestyle system taken care of? Dude, I haven't done my laundry in 2 years, right? I don't do my laundry because it takes a half hour to put laundry in the washer and dryer. It takes a half hour to take it out, and then it takes 3 hours to fold it and another 2 hours to put it away, right? My executive assistant, when I send her a message, gets my laundry company delivered to me, right? They do wash and fold laundry. I just have to put the bag outside. They bring it back all washed and folded. All I have to do is put it away.
Beautiful.
And that's what your wife's for, right? That's what my wife's for. I'm just kidding. My wife will not put my laundry up. Just joke.
This is why we keep getting canceled. Okay, so I would go back to that, but like you say, a lifestyle system. I wonder, like, what are some of the components of that? Because I think we need to make it simpler for people to understand what these systems actually mean.
Simpler. Okay, let me go even simpler than laundry. I can't go much simpler than laundry.
But does lifestyle system mean? I guess if you had to explain that, does lifestyle system? Yeah. Keep going.
System. So it's not a fair answer from you. But you also coach a lot of real estate agents, right? What do most real estate agents, let's start here, value their time at?
I mean, they act as if they're not worth very much, right? But they actually want to make a ton of money. So So there's both answers.
Let's say they value their time at $100 an hour. Okay, is that a fair place to start?
Sure. Yes.
Now, if they value their time at $100 an hour, let's assume that there's 2,000 working hours per year. That would mean their time is worth $200,000 per year. Okay? So, how many hours, go back to the same question, how many hours per day do you think a real estate agent spends in their email?
None, actually. The ones that I did deals with, none. Zero. Fucking none. They didn't have an email probably. It just went somewhere because they don't respond.
So funny, Brad. I just got one of my sales reps to hire an executive assistant for this purpose, and just by itself, right? He's like, dude, I know that I'm missing a deal a month through my email. Okay. Yeah. So everyone's always concerned about the ROI that they're making from a virtual assistant. Okay. Let's assume that a decent real estate agent is spending an hour per day in their email. Yeah. If they spent an hour per day, 22 working days in a month, that means that they are spending 22 hours per month in their email. If they value their time at $100 per hour, that's $2,200 a month that they're spending in email.
Right.
If they hired a full-time executive assistant to do nothing else but manage their email, that would cost $640. They are ROI positive by $1,560 per month.
Yes, if they do something with that time. I see a lot of people that hire assistants and they don't do anything with that time, and then all of a sudden you don't have ROI and you're no longer worth $100 an hour, and you have somebody checking your email.
You know, I think that's the biggest unconscious mistake that most people make. They make their first hire or two, and they think, "Hey, I got an executive assistant, I got a salesperson, whatever it is." Right? They make the first couple hires. They go, "Okay, cool. Now I'm never going to miss Johnny's soccer games again. Now I have free time, whatever." It's like, no, those first couple hires are there to let you go do more of your 20%. The most important things you should be doing. Like, we'll get to the next, right? We'll get some, but those first couple hires are there to let you do more of what you need to be doing, not to immediately, like, they jump too soon, right? They skip steps. So I think, yeah, absolutely. So, right. So Moose, for you on your side, what are the 2 or 3 sales systems you would tell agents to get in place right off the bat? Like, what would those actually look like? Is it go grab the software, or what are the 2 or 3 sales systems you've seen work the best for the average agent?
Yep. Cool. So that first one that I would recommend is the lifestyle system, right?
Yep.
From there, I would recommend a content machine.
Where do you find one of those?
Yeah, love it.
Walmart, Amazon, it's Prime Days right now.
Congratulations, Brad. You're talking to the right guy, right? So a content machine. What I see a lot of agents doing wrong, I just had this conversation yesterday, guys, with a really high-end team lead. A lot of agents want to come in and hire an ISA first, okay? You cannot hire an ISA if you don't have leads to support an ISA, right?
Amen.
So what does every agent in the world say? They say, well, I've got a database of 1 million people. I've got a database of 500,000 people. It's usually like 10,000 people, right? Yeah. So sorry, I'm exaggerating. I have a database that hasn't been contacted for the last 10 years of my career. Why can't they just call them? The same reason you're probably not calling them, because they're cold leads. They're not leads. Yeah. I could open up a phone book of white pages and have 1 million names. That doesn't mean that it's a lead. Right. That means it's a target, right? So I just put together, Wayne, Brad, if you guys ever want this, I just put this together. It's a 4-hour sales operations course, right? On how I would install my sales systems from ground zero, right? You, the audience, are welcome to have a copy of it for free, right? But what people don't realize is that when you're starting a sales org, you have what are called targets. Targets are people that you would like to become potential customers. Okay. Then there's a lead. The difference between a target and a lead is a lead has opted into information. They have asked for more information. A target is just a name and a phone number. That's no good to anybody. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
So a concept machine, am I able to share my screen at all?
Yeah, well, I think
so.
so.
Yeah.
Would the
I've got a
viewers
share
be
button.
able to watch it?
They will. Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. Let me show you guys a couple of things real quick.
Yeah, and while you're pulling it up, I'm going to go back talking about the lifestyle change because I think that's a good differentiator. I never thought of it that way, that either you go all into the business and you put your lifestyle to the side, which usually makes for a bad home life, you're a bad father, because you're just grinding it out, or you try and juggle it, but you allow the things that are, and I do it too, like carpool, laundry, whatever it might be, that gets in the way of you actually doing business. So if you can get somebody to do some of those lifestyle things that allows you to focus on business, then you can get, I mean, maybe it's not carpool, but I agree with that wholeheartedly. I never thought of it that way.
Yeah. Well, and as simple as like your calendar is a system.
Yes.
And it's going to like, here's all the aspects of one of the first things that my clients do when we're working on the business plan is figure out, like, I wanted to see your ideal average schedule, not your best day ever schedule, not the week in Venice, right? But like the ideal average schedule. And I want you to put it on there and see if it works, right? And so it's like, hey, if I'm going to get up and what's the, like you say, Moose, what's the lifestyle that serves my business and they work together. So I get up, I go to the gym, I do this, drop the kids off, kids work, right? And then it's like, cool, I've got this amount of time each day to work. Cool. What's the most powerful, best things I can do within that time? Yep. But I think most people go, I'm just going to work until I'm done working and then go take it. It doesn't work. It's a little messy. You got to figure it all out, right? It takes a minute to put together, but having that lifestyle system is huge. And then you go, well, I need more time with the kids. Cool. Stop doing laundry. Here's how we do that. Cool. I need more, it's taking me too long to cook. Cool. Stop cooking. Right. But like, it's stopped. And I love what Moose says, like, stop thinking about like work and then business and start thinking about this. This is a whole life creation. And how do I get my whole life to work together? Just like I have paper on auto ship for the, for my office, I have milk and toilet paper on auto ship for my house. Yes. Right. Like all of that stuff works together. And me having that stuff on auto ship is a system, right? That's part of the lifestyle system.
Wayne even has his robot swiping on Tinder for him. Like Wayne is like, his robot just sits there and swipes. It's crazy. Crazy.
Not enough swipes in the world. I'm dating my referral.
Because Dan Martello always talks about this, right? Yeah. But when somebody comes to me, whether it's a salesperson or a business owner who's trying to build out their team, I love saying, great, first thing we need to do is look at your calendar last week, right?
They're like, look at what?
And then the first thing is usually what you just described, right? What? I'm not tracking it. Well, from now on, because you're working with me, if it's not on your calendar, it didn't happen.
Yep.
You're not organized enough to put it on a calendar. That's your first mistake. But secondly, once you start uploading your calendar, what you're going to find is probably only 10% of the time you're spending is actually geared towards revenue producing activity. Let's not talk about anything else until you can get me a calendar showing me what you did.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Preach. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people hate that being that upfront, but that's what it takes. It's pretty damn simple. I'm not a rocket engineer. I'm a sales guy. Cool. So from the content, guys, I'm going to share my screen here. What I do is I need a system that's getting targets, like we just talked about, Brad, to opt in and say that they are leads, saying that they are interested in services every week. I don't want to spend $500 a day calling people to not get answers. I want to call my top 20 people and have a 2-minute conversation with them. Make sense?
Yeah.
So how do I do that? Well, I have a social media manager that I pay $4 an hour to, and they go and follow my competitors' content. They go and follow 5 other brands that I want to look like. I'm not creative enough to come up with this shit. So sorry, I use what's already working. Okay.
Yep.
From there, they find the most viral post that they make, whether it's on Instagram, YouTube, or Facebook. They transcribe it and they upload the transcription to ChatGPT. When they upload the transcription to ChatGPT, ChatGPT rewrites the content. I take 4 hours a month, just like we're doing here, and I put my camera in front of me and I film 4 hours worth of content. I send them back the raw footage. They edit it. They make it look pretty, but then they post it. But you know where the magic happens? Those 50,000 people that have been sitting in my pipeline that I haven't talked to for 5 years, they send them friend requests every single day. Well, what about Facebook only allows you to have 5,000 friends? They go and delete the people who are inactive. I'm not sharing the right screen. Whoops. I promise you, it's not more complicated than that, guys.
Yeah.
They go out and send friend requests to the people who've already expressed interest. As a result, I have 60,000 people a month viewing my Facebook.
That's
okay.
great.
So when I have 60,000 people a month viewing my Facebook, every other week, I will throw out a call to action. I get people arguing about sales. I get people talking about sales. I talk about being a dad. I talk about selling virtual assistants. I talk about what shitty salespeople do. And then every once in a while, I jump in and say, let me know if you're interested in buying something. We gotta go back to it because we posted 20 times this week, right? Talk about, here you go.
Love it.
So salespeople looking to scale from 10 grand a month in commissions to 20 grand. I've made a list of 50 tasks you should delegate. Comment tasks and I'll send you the list. They comment. And then who reaches out? Not my social media manager, my ISA, because now I have 93 people who've said, I am interested. Those 93 people get a message from my ISA saying, can I set up a conversation with Moose? Well, now they don't. Now they say with Moose's sales team, right? But then from there, I typically get one book call for every 1,000 people that view my social media every month.
It's great.
So good. So, and for you, like, how much content are you putting out on a weekly basis? And are you doing it on a professional page, obviously, so you can do ads and everything else? Or are you doing a personal one? That's just your personal.
No. Don't do it on a professional page at all, right? If you do it on a professional, the only reason why Facebook
It's gonna get shut down. They don't see.
Yeah, the
They don't see.
professional
Yeah.
is there so that you can run ads, right? I do it all from my personal page. This way it's all organic, right? And Facebook is incentivizing my page because they see me producing so much content. I post 3 times a day, which probably isn't enough, to be honest.
No, it's amazing. So, okay. So then they become a lead.
Yep.
They go to the ISA. What next?
From there, once they become a lead, very easy. Let me find you an example.
I like that whole target versus lead description because you're right. You've got 60,000 people in a database. You've got a graveyard of people and they're not leads because they may not need the services you're offering, especially in real estate, right? Every 11 years, they're going to ignore you for 10 and a half of them. So how do you get them to opt in? So having that mindset of, and I always preach give to get, right? Like, here, what can I give you that would get you to respond to me? And I guess you're doing the same thing. Like, hey, comment task and I'll drop them to you, but that's great.
Brad, it's such a great point that you bring up, right? I see so many agents hire ISAs and then the process sucks with ISAs and then the ISA sucks. And they're like, I guess ISAs don't work for me. It's like, yeah, you could have Jordan Belfort calling your leads and it's not going to work for you.
Well, the same could be said about executive assistants. If you don't know what the hell you're doing, how do you expect somebody else to know what you need them to do? And you just get, I've seen it so many times in real estate and they get pissed off. Like my EA sucks. Well, you don't even know what the fuck you're doing. How are they supposed to read your mind?
Yes. So what they'll do is exactly what you described, right? We offer a lead magnet. That's what the 50 tasks were, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
In real estate, the way I'm seeing this done effectively sounds something like this. Hey, Wayne Salmans created a list, the easiest ways people are, or the fastest ways people are, the 10 easiest ways that people are selling their home in a dead market in 2025. Can I send over that list to you? And then somebody says, yes, send me over that list, right? Then they say, great, I'll send it over to you, but you're probably not going to read it. It's pretty long.
Yeah.
Could I set up a call with Wayne and you to go through it yourself? And then they either say one of 3 things. They either say yes, they say not today, or they say no, right? If they say yes, they book the call. They ask some qualifying questions. Great. Let me get the call booked with Wayne. But before I do, I just have to ask you a couple questions. How soon are you looking to sell? Have you tried to sell already? Right? Some qualifying questions. Then you know the value of the lead. Okay?
Dude.
If they say, no, not yet, and say, cool, not a problem. What I'm going to do is go read it on your own. I'm going to check in back next week to see how it went, right? If they say, no, leave me alone, asshole, you say, cool, I'm going to stop contacting this person and let the machine that's generating me traffic push more traffic in. Tell me yes, tell me no, just don't tell me maybe. Make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. So look how simple this is, guys. Look how simple this is.
Share it again so we can see it.
Here is, let me pull up Ryan. This is a lead that came in from my lead magnet that I just showed you. Okay, boom. He requested the list, right? We sent out the list. Sorry for the delay. I'm actually a little bit out of process here. We didn't invite him to call, but I will. But look at the conversation that it creates. I don't know this guy. I've never talked to him before. We started the conversation on July 1st, right? Seems like you guys have it going on at Sphere Rocket. Great thing. Hunter, who's one of our CSMs, I knew him. He spoke very highly of you. Thanks, my man. Hunter's awesome, right? I saw you putting up, he's following my stories now. So he's one of the 60,000 who's constantly following me. And I said, man, I've lifted since I was in 8th grade. But I go on and off. I'm on mode now for sure. Look, he keeps on coming to me. I've killed the conversation twice now, and he's come back a 3rd time, right?
So great.
Right?
Like
Now he's come back a 4th time, right? I need to hit this guy up and be like, yo, Rain, just checking in. Did you get a chance to go through that doc? Would love to walk you through it. Boom. That's it.
It really is about taking action, right? Like consistently. And then here's my question. How do your team members, how would they stay on top of that person? Are they just going to Facebook every day and kind of scrolling back through things? Are they putting it somewhere? How are they doing that?
Depends on how you have your business structured, right? Obviously, that's one source of traffic that we have. Our biggest source of traffic comes from Facebook ads, right?
Yeah.
So the way I structure it personally is in my CRM. I use Follow Up Boss. I know you guys are familiar with Follow Up Boss, right?
Yeah, I love it.
So I create a pond system, right? My ISAs in their ponds are allowed to manage up to 100 leads. So if Rain was in their top 100, they would follow up with that person tomorrow.
Yeah.
If Rain said, hey, I'm not interested, leave me alone, we would move that lead to the dead pond and we would stop contacting him. If he said not today, it's possible that he could move to the overage pond, and then all other ISAs could have access to that lead and try and reliven that conversation. But if we set the appointment, then it gets passed off to the OST, to this closer.
That's beautiful. All right. So here's what I want to ask you. How has your philosophy around sales and systems changed in the last, decade or so? Like how do you see sales and systems differently than most people, do you think?
Yeah, because I've gone from salesperson to CRO, just like all the real estate agents who are listening to this, right? I was a salesperson who was always like, I am the best closer. I am the best closer. Therefore, I need to take as many sales calls as possible. In fact, I love telling the story, Wayne. My first year at Sphere Rocket, we did about $3.5 million in sales, right? Which was cool, right? I had sales reps who were inconsistent, not following a process, not following a pitch deck. Some would jump onto the call shirtless, like it was crazy, right? And I asked this question to myself one day: if I couldn't scale a team based off of sales talent, how would I do it?
Oh, okay. I love that. If I couldn't scale my team based off of talent, so if I didn't just have to go find 100 unicorns, how would I do it? Okay, keep going. But I love that. Like everyone should write that down. Yes.
And if you can answer that question, it'll lead you to the process that you need to build, right? Today, at that point, we were taking probably 200 sales calls, right? A month. Today, we take 1,200 sales calls a month. I cannot be on a sales call because if I'm on a sales call, it's too low of a value task for me.
Yeah.
Right? So I cannot be on a sales call. So today we do $10 million. It was $3 million in ticket sales when I first got here. Today it's $10 million in recurring revenue, right? The system scaled by saying, I'm no longer the best person. I need the best system.
So let me ask you a question to kind of pivot it back towards the real estate agents listening. So you probably hear all the time, I don't want to be salesy. I don't want to be hard sales. I just want them to call me. So do you have any tips or hacks that you could share with them that could help them close deals and still ask the closing questions without sounding like a used car douchebag? No offense, douchebag car guys. My apologies.
The thing is this, Brad, right? The reason why someone doesn't want to feel salesy is because they don't want to put pressure onto their warm list, right?
Right.
I get it. That's their warm list, right? So the first reason why they don't want to feel salesy is because they don't have enough leads coming in. I guarantee if they were facing cold traffic where they've never talked to the person before and they'll never talk to the person again, they don't mind being salesy. Like it's just a relationship, right? You know what I mean? But the second reason, I just talked to my sales team about this last week, right? Is if I'm just going to give you an example, invite somebody to an open house tomorrow and they don't show up to the open house. You know what you're going to feel stupid doing? Is calling them again on Friday and saying, hey, I know you missed my Thursday open house. Do you want to go to an open house on Monday? They're going to be like, No, I wanted to tell you no last time, but I was too nice to tell you no, right? That feels salesy because you keep on asking them the same question that they keep on denying you on. The reason why they didn't show up is because you didn't give them enough value to show up. So you need to change your value prop. Instead of my team going out and saying, hey, I know you told me no, you don't want a BA today, but yesterday, do you want a BA today? Person's going to say no. But if they said, hey, you told me no on a BA yesterday. Today, do you want a list of the top 5 ways to ROI with a virtual assistant? They might say yes to that. It's just a matter of changing the lead magnet and changing off how you're leading. Again, go back to the conversation with that guy, Rain. I think it's pronounced Rain. We don't talk about BAs at all. I sent him a list, right? Now we're talking about common connections that we have. Then we're talking about weightlifting. Then we're talking about sports. But now that it's been a week, shit, I think it's a fair ask to say, dude, you started the conversation with me asking for a list on how virtual assistants work. Would you like to explore that conversation more? It's not salesy. He asked for it. And if he says no, I don't say, are you sure? But I'll come back in a week and be like, yo, do you want this instead?
So I'll be a good case. So here's the thing, Moose. So I'm a broker owner, right? I do a lot of development, sales training, stuff like that. And I'm trying to scale my company a little bit larger. So I've been going after, which I haven't done for years, recruiting again. And we know how that can go, but it's very similar to sales. So reach out, you get the cold shoulder. You get, hey, not right now. I'm happy where I'm at. So tell me if I'm doing this wrong, or tell me if this follows your system. So I have started going actually with Dan's Buy Back Your Time book. The ones that won't answer me, the ones that won't give me the time of day, I'm sending them a note with the book saying, hey, I know you're very busy. You don't have time to meet, or your business is real busy right now. I thought you might enjoy this book. Maybe it could free up some time for us to go get coffee or something like that. But what's after that, right? What's the next step? What do you do? Like, you just like write them off?
It's so good. That's such a good lead magnet to reopen the conversation. I am giving you a gift. I want to give you a gift that's not relevant to what I want to sell you. It's probably more relevant than they realize. I'm giving you a gift. Therefore, would you like to extend a conversation? Right? Okay. But I can speak on your example because, again, my background's in building sales teams. Can I give you a direct example of something I've always done, Brad?
I was hoping you're going to. So yes, please.
Yeah. So check this out. Again, my background's in building and scaling sales orgs. No matter who I've ever built a team for, whether it's in real estate, whether it's high ticket coaching, whether it's Sphere Rocket, whether it's logistics, whatever, this is always my system. Okay. Let me go back to share my screen here. So what I'll always do is I will use Sales Navigator. Can you see? There it goes. Sales Navigator, right? Which is, for those listening, if they don't know, it's just how LinkedIn monetizes their service, right? Well, I will do, this is my content machine when I'm in recruitment mode. I will create a lead list. Where are you from again, Brad? I'm sorry.
I'm in South Carolina mostly.
South Carolina. And what?
It's called The Art of Real Estate, little boutique.
Okay, cool. So you're probably recruiting people from EXP, right?
Yeah, typically. I mean, I usually go more traditional Anywhere brand, stuff like that. Similar structures.
Anywhere brands, was that right?
Yeah, like, Coldwell Banker, ERA, those kind of things.
I was like, I never heard of that one. Cool. Caldwell Banker. What's another one? It's, I can't think of it.
Right?
I can't think of it. That's fine. That's fine. Give me through. Right? Then what I would do is I would go to geography. And if you're trying to expand your team in South Carolina, I might go to South Carolina. I could go, Greenville, South Carolina. I could go anywhere that I want. Okay. From there, look, just that quick, without filtering at all, I've got a list of prospects that I can do outbound to. Okay. So what I do is I take this list and I start an outbound campaign. Now, it's not me. It's a BA that does this. Right?
Right.
So the last time I did this, it was when I was in logistics. Right? So you can see I was targeting somebody who worked for C.H. Robinson, which is the biggest logistics company in the world. Right? I said, this was my BA script. Hey, Michael, I hope you're well. I'm the director of sales for Dodola Global Logistics. We're aggressively expanding our sales force. Have you ever considered a transition? I get about a 1% positive response rate with this. Okay. In real estate, it might be something like, hey, Michael, I saw that you're working with Caldwell Banker. Just curious, how's the market treating you out in Greenville? But look at how this guy responded. I sent this message, or my BA did, on August 30th of 2022. And then he responded to me on December 9th of 2024. Said, for whatever reason, your message went missing, right? I'm sorry for the extensive delay. well, I'm sure your opportunity is long gone. I figured I'd reach out and see what's available in the future, right? He's messaging me back saying, do you have any availability to come over to your team? Because I didn't do it, right? That's a 1% positive response rate. But to answer your question, Brad, just to nurture these leads a little bit more, so what I always like to do is have this person who's sending these messages, the same person as my social media manager. So all they're doing is building a list. I'll get yeses, I'll get nos, I'll get non-answers. And then the same list that I'm talking to in here, I'm now sending friend requests in Facebook, and I'm sending follow requests in Instagram, which is now creating omnipresence. Then in my Facebook, maybe I'm talking about the 5 biggest reasons to switch over to my logistics team is because you're not getting comped right at CH Robinson. He's hearing me in person here, and then he doesn't answer me. He goes to Instagram and he's like, oh shit, I should leave my company. I wish someone would reach out.
That's so good. Well, and a big part of that, I think, for Brad is, which he's doing a great job at, is then it's back to the content, right? So it's like, hey, this person's ghosting me. But I think one of the things that you've done well and so many others have done well is they've become that magnetic personality where like they're putting out such great content that it's like it's hard to ignore them. And those people eventually kind of come back around because they're seeing that other stuff. So I think that's where like that content consistency becomes so important. And at some point, Moose reaches out and they go, shoot, like I'm actually feel like I have a relationship with this guy because I've watched so much of his stuff and gleaned so much wisdom from him. Like it almost feels wrong not to respond to him because of that relationship you built with being consistent with the content. Brad, I had a couple other questions I want to ask. I know we're getting short on time, but like what did you?
Nope.
5 hires every agent needs to make. What are the 5 virtual assistant hires they need to make?
I would say an executive assistant, right? Executive assistant / TC.
Yep.
Right?
Absolutely.
They're the same person.
Yep.
They're the same person. The person prioritizes TC work when TC work is heavy, but during downtime, they are your executive assistant.
Absolutely.
Okay. Social media manager, number 2.
Yep.
Okay. Social media manager is the one creating the ideas for your content. Okay. And sending the friend requests and follow requests.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Absolutely.
This could be a part-time role, especially today with AI.
Yep. Absolutely.
Right. Number three is video editor. Again, could be a part-time position, especially with tools like Opus. Okay. Number 4 is ISA. I think a 5th. I mean, dude, most agents I talk to don't need 5.
Right.
Well, at that point, it's like bookkeeper or in my world, it could be something on the personal side, like help manage the schedule, build the things, whatever it is. It could be something on the personal side that's helping, like we talked about at the very beginning. Yeah, huge. Well, your 2 cents on I can't have a virtual assistant be my EA. I need somebody right here. What's your 2 cents on that?
I would say why. I would challenge them to just be like, why? Right? Is there a security measure that you can't see past? Is there even if there is, I can usually coach people through the security.
Sure.
It's usually
absolutely
right. It's like, that's what I would say. Why do they need to be local?
Yes.
Right. If you hire somebody, I hate to say it, right, but I will. If you hire somebody who's halfway decent, they are not going to work as your admin. They will want to grow into an agent or a team owner themselves. Yeah. You hire somebody who's on sort of the back end of their career and they don't need money, you might get them, but they're also not going to be very productive because they care as much as they're getting paid.
Absolutely. All right. What are your top favorite tools you and your team are using right now? You said Opus is a great one. I love that. What are some of the other great tools that we can use as massive clickbait?
Yeah. We use ChatGPT a ton, right? I use ChatGPT for my content all the time. Now you're saying, well, if you have ChatGPT, why do you have a VA? Because my VA who's using ChatGPT.
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. Yep.
Again, very easy. What I do is I have my VA upload all of my content into ChatGPT with the metrics of each post. From there, the VA says, given the content last week, the content's performance last week, help me develop content that will perform this week.
That's so good.
Okay. Kind of creepy. Last week, Tracy, who did this for me, the content, right? She put in a post that said, give me a post that will hit 3,000 impressions in the next 24 hours.
Wow.
Hit 31 impressions in the next 24 hours. It was
how
really
much
creepy.
clothes?
I was like,
how many pairs of clothes did you have on though? Like, what's our shame level here? Because I mean, I have been working out. I'm just saying.
Undies on. I forgot much.
Oh, so good. It's so good.
Right. If anyone wants it, Wayne, I just created a lead magnet, and it's the ChatGPT prompt that your VA can use to create infinite content.
I love it. Yes. Awesome. How did they get that?
Have them reach out to you. I'll send it over to you.
Okay, awesome. Okay, sounds good. All right,
Man,
we're gonna use
if we had a
the hell out of it.
if we had a website that we could put this stuff on, and people could go on and get
This
it.
boy, he's talking about, I tell you what, you know what I mean? Just know that what you talk about with Brad will eventually show up on a to-do list somewhere. There you go. Dude, I love those. All right. So let me ask you this, dude. Like, you have helped so many friggin' people. If you had a 30-second message for every real estate agent out there, a 30-second message of advice, or go do this thing, what would you say to everybody right now if you talk to all the agents out there?
Consistency is much more important than talent. Consistency is much more important than talent, right? If you go in and you make 100 dials today because you are the best salesperson today, I would much rather hire the person who does 60 calls today, but that does 60 dials tomorrow as well, because they are consistent in their workflows. I can create predictability behind my business based off of their outputs, right? I can't create predictability versus the person who's inconsistent.
Yeah. Yep. Let me ask you one. I think you're so dead on right now. So many people are like, hey, I want to do what nobody else is doing. What's that unique special thing? It's like, it's be consistent, because that's the one thing nobody else is doing. That's the thing for you right now. I just, out of curiosity, how do you see sales, messaging, marketing? Like, what do you see changing over the next year or so with all the AI, all the other kind of stuff? Like, where's going to be the opportunity, do you think?
Where's it going to change with AI?
Because, like, I don't think it's just putting out tons of content. Like, I think that's a part of it. You got to put a lot of content, but like, where do you see is going to work over the next, year?
I think content's definitely a big piece of it, right? I have a VA who's VAO last week, right? And there's so much that you can do from the video side, from the written content side. Content will definitely be a big piece of it, right? I like to say this. Alex Hormozy creates 450 pieces of content a week, right? I can hardly get my sales reps to create one a week, right? So if you're wondering why I don't make Alex Hormozy money, go and ask yourself that question. How much content am I creating, right? So content is a big piece of it, right? But then from there, I'm not afraid to trash AI too. Wayne, I have never seen an inside sales team that outproduces my inside sales team. Back to what we're always talking about. It's not because my inside sales team is the best at persuasion. It's because they have a daily huddle with me every day where I either praise them for their work ethic, or I kick them in the ass for not doing their job. I'll share these numbers with you. Last year, I paid my inside sales team, VAs, $114,000 across a team of 7 of them, okay? They brought in $1.8 million in new business. We got a 14x ROI. I guarantee you, if Joe, the real estate agent, hired my ISA team, they would say that the ISA sucks because their accent is too thick, because they're not making enough dials. It's not because of their persuasion. It's because I chew their ass every single day and I incentivize them. They love working for me, right? So again, $127,000. They brought in 1.8 million in new business, a 14.45x ROI. Mimi made $26,000. Let's do some math real quick. You ready? $27,000 divided by 2,000 working hours. She's making $13.50 an hour in the Philippines. That's the equivalent of about $200,000. She can never leave me.
Amazing.
She can never leave me. Topher made $35,000. 366 divided by 2,000 working hours. He made $17.60 an hour. Topher messages me once a month. Man, I'm going to Boracay, which is a big beach in the Philippines. He's like, I'm taking all my girlfriends. I'm like, Topher, enjoy it, my man. But when you get back, you keep hitting the phone 200 times a day.
I love it, dude. Here's what I love about you. I love that you can be creative and you're also so committed to like not leaning on creativity to drive the business. And I think there are people that are creative and they lean on that, right? Entrepreneurial style to drive their business. And there's people that are very system driven, right? But can't actually have a great conversation. And your mirroring of that is beautiful. And I love how real you are with like, there are some things you need to do, but at the end of the day, it's just do this, talk to 30 people a day, and I guarantee business is going to come in.
Yeah, 100%.
And they get better at it, but just do that. Yeah.
I see a lot of people who are trying to be creative. They try to push the business with the creativeness, and then there aren't the outputs that follow it. And they're like, oh, this didn't work. Then you got people who do just outputs and they say, hey, do you want to buy stuff? Do you want to buy stuff? Do you want to buy stuff? They don't have the creative on the front end and it doesn't work. You got to have both support each other.
You gotta
and it's a derivative of like a better one, but like, what does it say? Like motivate, your success comes when consistency helps when motivation lacks, right? So like, that's how you know you're going to hit your goal kind of thing. I mean, again, there's a better way of saying it. There's like 10 different ways of saying it, but that's what I always go to is like, get up. Even this morning, I posted on my story, like, I did not want to go and ride my Peloton. I work out every other day at the gym, but I ride Peloton every other day. And I'm like, bro, I had like 6 IPAs last night and I painted my daughter's room and I had all the fumes going. I was like, I don't want to get up and fucking ride. But I did because I know consistency will get me where I need to go, not when the motivation lacks. So yes, I ride a Peloton.
News 2352. Add me on Peloton, man.
All right. Yeah. Brad Allen SC on everything, even my Peloton. You can get it.
Brad Allen SC. You got it.
All right. Moose and I are now best friends.
Absolutely.
Best friends.
All right, Brad, I'll let you ask the last question. And Moose, I just want to tell you, like, thank you for your friendship. Thank you for what you've been able to do for Sphere Rocket. And like, I look at you and I see thousands and thousands of businesses where moms and dads are making it to soccer games and people are growing businesses and they're sleeping at night because of the virtual assistants and the systems you helped them build out. And I mean, I'm one of them, right? We got our whole team of phenomenal virtual. It was Pam's 3-year anniversary a couple of days ago. And I get goosebumps about how many things that they've been able to do. I've been able to improve their life by them being here, but man alive, they have been able to massively improve mine. So you're legitimately making a difference. And I appreciate your friendship, man. Like you're a good dude. So y'all are looking for helping everything else get after it.
That's it. There's no question after that. That's the mic drop right there. Thanks, man. Thanks for your time. Thanks for being on here.